This foot has a hidden problem and a stone I need to remove. This is a very sore cow's foot, and this is the Hoof GP.
And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you.
Let's get that stone out first. It doesn't hit me in the hands with the grinder. Right. So this is a very painful back claw. So despite its appearances, I know there is something hiding in amongst it, causing that pain and that discomfort. Her outer claw is much bigger than her inner claw. So I start by vastly reducing it, and almost instantly we can see a hole emerging right in the heart of her foot, where the typical sole ulcer site is. Using this rotary blade or grinder, we remove layer upon layer upon layer of keratin. Keratin is the protein that forms these hoofs, and it's what makes them incredibly hard. I need to make sure that outer claw is as level and balanced with the inner claw as possible. My only trouble is that inner claw is slightly undersized, so I don't want to touch it at all, but I do need to make it flat and level, because I know I'm going to need to attach a block, and those blocks don't stick unless those feet are flat and level. So it's the lesser of two evils. I'll flatten it out a little bit, or I did flatten it out a little bit, but I'm going to add a block back in. I just need to make sure I maintain as much height as possible. Right, this problem. So I didn't model any of it out with the grinder because I was scared about how close to the surface. Oh, that knife's got a scratch on it. I didn't model it out with the grinder because I was scared that there could have been an ulcer sticking up underneath that I would catch. Gently tease it out. So you work around about the edges and just keep honing in on the problem. It would be fantastic if we could see through the hoof horn and know where we can cut and where we can't. But unfortunately that's not the case, so we just have to keep reanalyzing the foot with every swipe of the knife. But we can see that this is a big flap of hoof horn. Look, I could put my knife under there and scoop it away. I'm going to come across like this. Lovely. Now that hoof horn is translucent, so we can see that this goes up the edge as well. Now I'm basically scraping along the surface and taking fractions of millimeters away with each cut. Right, I'll actually stop there and get this block in position. We do have a little bit more to do, but I need that block to have time to completely cure. It does cure really quickly, but the more time it's got, the bigger a chance it's got of staying on. Unfortunately, as good as our glue is, and it really is the best, that's a small claim, isn't it? But nothing's perfect. And to be honest, if the glue stayed on that hard, if a cow got trapped in among slats or cracks in concrete, you would want the glue to break before it hurt the cow's foot. There are slats on the floor, and when there's no block, it's fine because the cow's foot is two parts, so it's big. But when we put one block on, that obviously reduces the contact surface, so that contact surface can now go down through the slats. The slats can catch the block and the cow twists and it'll ping the block off. If you lose blocks and you have slats are those holes in the ground that the poop goes through. Like this here, and those slats have to be wide enough for the poo to go through. But unfortunately, sometimes that means that the blocks also get caught. Just look how nosy cows are. Look at them all standing there, desperate to lick the crush, trying to investigate it all, and then as soon as we start making noise, they'll all run away. Right, we'll just tease out. So this is a sole ulcer, and we're just going to tease out those little bits of cracked hoof horn that remain. Give it a little bit of a wash out in a second. You can actually see the corium right at the point of my finger, and that is what needs to heal up. A bit of iodine will dehydrate those outer layers of tissue, and that will form a protective barrier, a little bit like a band-aid or a plaster, so that a new fresh tissue can grow unencumbered, unhindered, unimpinged bacteria's not going to eat it alive. And hopefully, new hoof horn will grow on top of that. And she will be right as rain. Incidentally, she's also slightly lame on here. It's very, very soft in here because she's been using this foot more because that foot is sore. So whenever you get one sore foot, the cow compensates by walking on the other one. So it ends up bruised and becomes a problem as well. So you always have to make sure you trim both. And if one is starting to show a problem, even though she's not lame, we usually block it just to catch it before it really takes hold. We'll just trim our front feet as well.
I feel better every day. The troubles I had have been washed away. I'm cleaning up my act and moving on. In the silence of my room, I'll sleep all night and get up at noon. There's nothing to distract me in my dreams. Like a pillow on my face, no one can hurt or invade my space.
Sounds like Craig's already done that one. Sometimes people will ask if cows have problems when they've got blocks on. The answer is yes, sort of, which sounds strange because we put blocks on all the time. So if a healthy cow had nothing wrong with her feet and we put a block on, we would be overloading that claw and she would get an issue under the claw. Nope, under the block. Now the same is true for a lame cow. So we are overloading the claw that we put the block on, but we cannot possibly leave the sore problem without a block because that sore problem will never get better. It'll just keep being abused by the ground every time the cow puts her foot down. So the lesser of two evils is to put a block on, and actually that's why we use wooden blocks, because wooden blocks wear out after about 6 weeks, and if they're on for much longer than that, they would start to bruise underneath the block because of the overloading. But because it's wooden, it wears down and there is no problem within that 6 week range, which is also why we really need to recheck cows to make sure that the block didn't cause a problem in that short 6 week period. Right, how's she walking? Unfortunately, we would show you a video of her walking, but she's far too interested in having her breakfast. But rest assured, oh, she's away. She is walking fine. I promise you. Thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, please give me a thumbs up. That really does make a massive, massive difference to the performance and the growth in this community. So if you have enjoyed the video, a thumbs up, a like is always very much appreciated. Ciao for now.